This series is shaping up to be everything we hoped it would be and more. It was fantastic. Vertigo looked like, it was such a one-sided game initially, and then there was a huge comeback attempt from the G2 squad. They almost get it done, but they don't quite cross the finish line. Now we head through to Dust2, the third and final map of this semi-final. And it feels like it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, totally. We've had all the stars show up. Kenny was incredible on that previous map. Shox as well. Vintage tier performance. We had the captain of Valiance, Nexa, performing not only in the in-game leading aspect, but at top of the entire scoreboard, and joined by the likes of Letney and co. So really everything is happening here, Harry. And to be honest, I think I'm flip-flopping. I think I'm leaning in G2's favor coming into this third and final map. They show resilience in terms of pulling back Vertigo. Weren't able to quite do it, but I feel like that gives them the confidence to succeed on Dust, a map they've had success on in the past.
One of the things that's been so impressive to me about Nexa is his consistency, being up at the top of the board, which, I remember back when I would, see him in Imperial, while he was a good fragger, he was never someone who would just consistently be wrecking up at the top. He had his big moments, but here at this event, he's kind of been the consistent top performer. Back on Nuke, he was the one guy really kind of putting in a lot of effort there, and on Vertigo, almost dropping 30 kills in total. What more could you ask for from your IGL? He's
had the Neil M touch. That man will make anyone frag, Harry. And Nexa, I am so excited to see if he can continue this performance into a third map as well. This is one that Valiance were able to take over Mousesports in the group stage initially, knocking themselves up to the top spot straight to the semi-finals. But the question is, against G2, is that still attainable? I don't know. They're 1-1 in the series so far. They lose Nuke. They look pretty lost on that one. And they look pretty lost in the second half of Vertigo as well until they pull things together the last couple of rounds of the half. It really is anyone's game here. Valiance take the knife round, as you can see, but it doesn't hold a huge amount of weight over on Dust.
For me, the deciding factor is going to be, do we get Kenny S from Nuke, or do we get Kenny S from Vertigo?
I don't think we get Kenny S from Nuke on Dust2.
No, me either.
Yeah.
And you feel like you definitely can't afford to have him struggle a bit. Now, one thing that is good is you saw, during that Vertigo game, he was hyping up the crowd, he was getting into it, he was really kind of starting to feel the motions, and that's always a good sign with someone like Kenny. Another man I think it's worth talking about over on this G2 squad has to be Amanek, who went from having a very bad performance in that first half to an insane one in the second. If he can keep that up, Dust2's going to be interesting, but we don't have to wait any longer. Map 3 of this second semi-final underway here and now. The last chance for both these teams to try and book in that grand final slot, and G2 with an instant B play, not wasting any time. In they go and damage done, but it's Hunter to open up. Quickly traded by Amanek. Letney's managed too, and this round has eluded G2 in a big way. It's Shox 1v4. They tried to throw down the gauntlet, but it's backfired. A 4K for Letney, and Valiance, they find themselves the pistol round.
And Letney again, 25 plus kills back on that previous map of Vertigo, and he started off the pistol with 4. That is spelling a great sign here for Valiant. Fantastic flash as well from Otto, fully blinding 3 players coming out of those tunnels for G2. And Hunter was caught with a nade in hand up close. He wanted to throw it inside of the tunnels, but he was too blind. He right-clicks it and still gets a kill off with that CZ. So making the best of a bad situation. And Valiant start things off. G2 with a force bite. Dust2 not known for having a lot of success with pistols, especially on this T side. But G2, they've got a history with these weapons, at least some of these guys do. Fast up towards short with the Xbox smoke concealing their position. Like he can try and flash or smoke his way into mid. He's going to smoke the left side of mid, interestingly enough, and CT spawn as well. They're trying to completely lock Valiance's information out, and at the same time, they push up on Catwalk, forcing Otto off of long. Retake setup here from Valiance now as G2 in a 5-on-5 get control of A, but look at Shox. What a naughty boy.
Yeah, he's holding down here in CT. Now, with that mid to be smoke falling, they will anticipate someone being so deep. It might not matter. Shox does successfully deal with Hunter. Quickly traded, but a 4-on-4. Bomb planted for short as well, and 3 players grouped up here for G2. This is by no means impossible. Valiance, they've got to hit their shots. They have to get back into this, and Amanek will be the first to arrive on the scene. Trades go left and right, and it's Amanek versus Nexa. Two of the big boys from Vertigo. Nexa, he's got no time, and Amanek even gonna find him. G2 snatching the force buy back. Oh, there's two fist bumps waiting, and he'll grab them both. That will be 1-1 now, and a force buy likely back on the cards for Valiance. And already, I mean, Dust2 is kind of living up to the hype of how this is going to be a very close back and forth affair.
I mean, this has been a great series so far. And there's no reason for it to stop here on the third and final map. G2 fast out of long. Double scout here for Valiance as well. We've got Esperanto and Nexa both on the A side of things. We're going to have that boost up. Nexa trying to get up on top of the catwalk or the A site to cover long. Cheeky boost for G2. Trying to catch any re-aggression on long, see if Valiance flash their way back into that position. But with this kind of buy, no, you want the range fights. You want G2 to come to you. So they'll be patient, as are the Frenchmen, waiting for someone to make the first move. But eventually it will be forced, or G2's hand will be forced into this A site. The bomb's going to be here on long. Kenny hands it over to Shox. We've got Amanek holding the outside of B. He can catch anyone moving through the T-spawn or rotating inside of the tunnels here. But these scouts on the A site, they could whittle away at G2.
Oh, they definitely could. That's where you're going to look to the AWP of Kenny, and there it is. One of those scouts already gone. Kenny, little flick. Esperanto deleted as well. Those scouts don't even get to fire a shot off before Kenny's found them both. And I mean, that is the recipe that G2 wanted. They wanted Kenny to keep this strong appearance up. Already Valiance, they're backing off. I mean, Letney does manage to get one. That might tempt them to head back towards A, but I imagine they just try and hold on to the armor on these two pistol players. They'll leave Otto nearby, and he's been discovered. So G2 able to do what Valiance could not and convert that anti-force round. And they do it cleanly at that, largely on the back of those two entries from Kenny into the A-bomb site.
Yeah, it was pretty much all on those scouts, right? And if you're going up against AKs there, the scouts are, I don't want to say they're always going to win, but they're certainly going to have a pretty good chance. But the AWP, far too strong. Maybe Valiance weren't expecting it so early on into this game. G2 getting an AWP by round 3 after not even winning the pistol. Impressive. And they'll take another one. 2-1 here for the French side. Valiance having to go for a full eco. They got a couple of things saved here and there, but that is all they'll have to play with. Should be the 3-1 before we have guns come out.
Oh, they managed to get two players across. Here's the third man, Otto, going to try and run the gauntlet as well. He certainly doesn't look up to it. He's just going to tuck himself into the cubby here out through the middle doors. Esperanto boosted up here over at short, trying to peek into Shoxy, but he reads that well, and that is Esperanto dropped and dealt with. Boost finds nothing. Gonna give them the information that there was a second man over towards Catwalk. Otto wall banged down by Shox. He doesn't even see him. I think he hears the Molotov tagging him and just sprays on the back of that information. Flash set up by Kenny. I was going to say these two playing off of each other well, but the flash actually misses its mark. Shock's going to flash himself in, or at least out from the tunnels onto the Xbox now. Trying to bait the peek into Kenny's AWP, and it does work, but he misses that flick, and Letney will dispatch of the AWP with his deagle. In the meantime, though, Jax has gained some real estate up towards elbow, just has to worry about Nexa on this USP inside of the bomb site, but actually, Nexa, how's he done that? He's doubled down with the USP, and he's looking for a little bit more. He's buying time. Shox will delete him. 3 kills to his name. Amanek swoops in to try and save the day, and it's only Hunter remaining, but for the time being, he's got a one-on-one inside of the A-bomb site.
Yeah, Amanek's not up on the corner just yet, but Shox is going to shut it down. 4 kills. That was a little bit awkward. The mid-rotation caught by Amanek. The reason I think it was Letney ran out there with his knife out, not expecting a close player, is because it was Shox initially in middle who was getting the kills. And once he was spotted already up on the catwalk, I guess he assumed that mid was empty. Well, not the case. G2 finding that 3-1, and again, that was only an eco, so to find 3 kills, Valiance have got to be pretty happy with that one. Now they've got the guns, now they've got the AWP, but G2 maybe considering a bit of a B rush. They're fast out long early on, but there's 3 up towards B. Amanek is drawing a lot of attention right now from Valiance, and now look, it's just Letney alone. He's got to lock this one down with no support. Does find the first kill, and G2 are staggering inside of this bomb site. They're bailed. They've had enough of this one. The second rotates come through. Valiance kill the long player, and suddenly it's a 5-on-3.
Yeah, very little room to maneuver here on the side of G2. You're relying heavily on finding an opener. This is where you would have loved for Kenny to have his AWP in hand, but just rifles to try and make this a reality. Otto's holding from the cross. That's a big whiff, but he's still alive, given a second chance and does not miss the second time around. Big that he's able to find that because, you know, they lose Hunter. Had Kenny been allowed to get into the bomb site, would have been a 3-on-4. The bomb could have gone down. You had players in position at short. Now, 4v2, Valiance can just play the numbers game, play for the trades. They hear Lucky running back to short. SP takes that peek, dinks him up, finds the first, looking for the other, and he will dispatch of both players left in that post plant. Valiance securing another. In with their second, still money available for G2, and you could even look to bring that AWP out should they like, and I imagine they will.
Well, it's either the AWP or everyone has AKs. That's the thing, because one player will have to drop over an AK or just buy the AWP and take the hit in terms of weaponry. Maybe they have a way to shuffle it around. I didn't catch every player's money, but it didn't look good enough for 5 guns unless they forfeit the AWP. That being said, you know, having 1 pistol, 3 AKs, and an AWP, that's a pretty damn good buy. And yeah, it's pretty similar. They have a Galil, 2 AKs, and a MAC-10. No AWP. They save the money instead. They play for the long run. I like that call. Not fully investing. Valiant, they've got their own AWP though. Otto's going to be on that on the car. Important
to note though, Kenny S, the man with the Galil, doesn't have armor behind him. Ooh. That's going to play into this round. And not to mention, he's the AWP, right? He spent all of his money pretty much. So
I imagine Shox will drop him. And I imagine that's why he doesn't have armor, because he wants to have some money to drop over his teammate. But his teammate's already dead, Harry. Shox, first into middle, and last in middle, because he's already gone. The B-rush coming through that nade is amazing, and Letney, lots of damage. 2 kills off the back of it. Hunter's got the cross, but Lucky's got the height advantage. He'll take 2 from the top of the boxes and actually open up this B site for the taking, but taken away by Otto on the cross. Valiant's 3-3 scoreline.
And I mean, immediately they're back into this game. It was a bit back and forth to kickstart this, right? With the pistol round going the way of Valiance. Then we see G2 win that force buy and start to chain together a few on the back of it. Since the rifles have came out, Valiance have been emerging victorious. And this round, yeah, no AWP dropped over. Kenny is just down on the CZ. Ooh, the MP9 laying waste to the players in tunnels. And G2, they've already been torn in 2.
They've been torn into more than 2 pieces, Harry. Many, many pieces. That MP9 is a real shredder. And Lucky, he's getting shredded in the spawn. Letney just playing with his food here. There's the angle and there's the kill. Kenny S now alone, and oh, how this round has fallen apart for G2. They needed that bomb plant in the previous round to get the AWP. Well, now, no guns even on the horizon here unless they get a bomb plant, and you can see Hunter will not be letting that happen. Kenny's going to walk with his back turned into it, and Hunter will finish things off. Valiance, a flawless round. Look at the money bulging now for this CT side. It's spilling out of their pockets onto the pavement, Harry. And G2 have none of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is where that decision to go for the partial investment maybe comes back to hurt them. You imagine how the main reason why those kills come in is because you have Otto looking down mid. He's just holding, so they can't actually peek to spot if a player had pushed lower tunnels. Had you had maybe Kenny there on the AWP, not only could he have challenged Otto, but he could have potentially found or at least got the information that a player had gotten by and gotten into that lower tunnel position. Instead, they are just blindsided, not only by the MP9, but in response to that, they actually double push the upper tunnels with Letney and Hunter and just crunch on down into the majority of G2. This round, will just be the eco from the French squad. Now, on the upside, it is still early days in this first half, right? At least you haven't done this staring down the barrel of a much more one-sided scoreline. The odds are Valiance move 5-3 up, but then we have a decent buy for G2. Hunter, once again, down in the lower tunnels, will get traded after finding a double. That is an AK picked up and now on the back of Amanek, but Letni, relentless in this tunnel's aggression, are Valiance. I love how they're playing for this portion of the map, knowing that there's no money, no AWP on the side of G2, so they do just have free reign to go for those lower tunnel pushes. Shox and Lucky remaining, and a 2-on-3, by no means impossible, but with one smoke and no armor to make this happen, it is going to require a massive individual effort. I don't want to build this up as an amazingly doable round for G2. It would require one hell of a performance.
But hell of a player these two are. Issue is lack of armor on that AK as well is going to be a bit of a problem. Although if you look at Valiance, they're almost giving up the site here. Nexus up on Catwalk and he's just pushed up aggressively. This has lost him A. It's fine. Valiance are aware of this. It's just G2 have caught almost the perfect timing. That being said, that smoke going down and only one for the cross here. It can't cover the entirety of this position. Nexa, Molotov on the ramp. Cross has come through. Bomb's made its way over and Lucky's going to get the kill. That's huge. Will allow for the bomb plant now for Shox, who's on long. But Esperanto, it's actually a safe plant. He doesn't want to take the risk. He doesn't have cat control or CT, and Esperanto in the smoke so close. That click will be heard, and Shox is ready for it. Close up, taking the kill and taking the AK for it. Otto now left in the 1-on-2, and he's not armed for the job. Or is not the best weapon, and Shox will take him down. You say it's not doable, Harry, but oh yes it is.
I mean, I didn't say it wasn't doable. I said it's doable, but it's not likely. It would require something incredible, and we get exactly that from G2. Now tied up 4-4. And you're right, that little right-click smoke from Esperanto gives Shox all the information he needs. And now G2 tying things up. That's what we want to see. AWP back in the hands of Kenny, so we get to see both these teams with their weapons of choice, all the bells and whistles. Kenny challenging for mid, and you'll note now that Valiance are aware this AWP is in play, Otto not playing middle. They switch it up so that he takes his position at Catwalk. From here, he can take a shot, drop on down, and then fall back into the A bomb site. Plenty of utility on G2, so the odds are he gets flashed off this angle, and I'm curious if he's going to stick around or just drop off on the back of this flashbang, because they should be aware that Kenny has this AWP in play.
Oh, there's the molly. The info's there. He's not even going to take the chance. Just falls off safely. G2 are up Catwalk now. The cost of some health, the utility puts Jax on half. Now, the thing is with this setup, G2 can always just back off into the tunnel play. They still have Amanek in position here, so at any point, if they bail out of this A site, they can just drop back towards mid, go for the mid to be set up, and that's when Hunter is very important. We'll see if that needs to be employed or if G2 can commit to this site. Because the thing is, 3 players on the other side trained on this position. The drop into spawn. Shox goes fast. Below the AWP scope, he finds one, but the trade is there. Info on 2 players on this A site, and Nexa can only get the dink. Lucky takes him down. Hunter's rotated out of middle, but that bomb plant coming through already. They don't know he's close, though, and he sees the shadow. Taking one. Can he double? It's so close, but yet so far. 5 HP the difference. Lucky doesn't take a bullet. And Letni alone. With no bullets to spare, he'll have to save.
And now they know where he is. They don't have much money on the side of G2, so you don't imagine they hunt this too actively. They do just want to keep both these rifles up if they can. There's an AWP that can be retrieved and kept in play for Kenny. Big stuff there from Shox to throw that entire round into disarray. Right, as you pointed out, he jumps down and actually gets beneath the scope of Otto. So he thinks he's got an eye on short, gets blindsided by Shox, and that's so impactful because the player that was playing over towards ramp then gets forced out of position to have to deal with Shox. They also get the info that there's a player at long, so they knew both the positions of the 2 CTs inside of the bomb site. And not only that, the player on ramp, the second he moved, he exposed himself to Kenny, so the trade was there straight away. And then they had the added benefit of knowing where that third man was over towards long. No nasty surprises lurking around in the bomb site. And even though Shox only gets 1, the information, the play itself is massive for G2 there.
Yeah, it just creates enough space, right, to get that AWP off of Car. How many highlights have you seen with an AWP on Car get 2, 3, 4 kills on a site entry? Even with flashbangs, you can avoid them as a CT there. So just that one kill, just a 1-for-1 there, removing the most powerful player on that A site. That being Otto on the AWP. So now G2 armed to the teeth and starting to rare to lead 5-4. Double AWP here for Valiance, a mixed bag in this round. They've got a pistol, they've got an SMG, but G2 have a B rush. This is the worst buy for it. Valiance are not going to have any chance to retake this round, surely. Even though it's a 5-on-5 and they're forced out, these AWPs, it's going to make things very difficult. And that doesn't help.
No, this is 100% the save now. I mean, I think it already was in that 5-on-5, as you say. You know, you've gone for the double AWP buy. Really, you're hoping that G2 take a really slow round. You have a chance to whittle a couple of players down.
Upgrade those pistols.
Upgrade the pistol. Yeah. And they get none of that. In fact, the B play was the perfect counter to this very unorthodox buy from Valiance in this round. It could have caught G2 off had they gone for a slow default, had they just played their usual game. But going for that fast B, the perfect play, and it rewards them with a 6th round. Now 4 players looking to save. The flash doesn't land. Esperanto still found regardless. He was the one Deke player. So, not the most impactful thing, but they have taken at least the armor and pistol away from the following round. Those 2 AWPs and the AUG still in play, and you're going to be looking at them now to come up big here in this one. If they don't, however, G2 going to be storming into the lead, and another problem that Valiance are going to face is the double AWP prospect is one that's almost out the window if they lose them and aren't able to save them forward.
Look at the pace as well. G2 have had enough. They're just charging out long again. Letney's already been tagged through the doors from the start of the round. It's not like he can hand that gun over to Otto either, who doesn't have armor. That being said, Letney's 2 shots away from death anyway, so it doesn't really matter who's on at this point. Molotov towards middle. G2. They took long so early on, but they've just sat here the majority of the round. They're just waiting to see what Valiance want to do in this one with the rifles, with the save weaponry. Jax, oh, perfect. Nexa was almost round that corner, but just too slow. And Jax too fast. Entry kill here for G2. He can put pressure on middle. But Valiance, they're rotating up towards the A site here. They just want to fully gamble on this side of the map. The AWP on Hunter still within B, but that's not going to be too much of a factor here as G2 look to take long.
Letney over the smoke from his watchtower, his perch. Is good for 1. Jax now eliminated as well. This push has to come in from G2. 35 seconds. They don't have time to change their minds. They've got to commit. There's a gap in the smoke, and Letney will get one on the back of it. Chaining together another. It's Kenny left alone in a 1v3. Tries to get the bomb down, fakes the plant, tries to bait the peak, but Letney through the smoke. 4 kills for him. Those 3 saved weapons worth their weight in gold there for Valiance. I mean, arguably the 1 AWP on Letney was all they needed, but the rest are just bonuses. And G2, that should have been their chance to start to pull ahead. Instead, Valiance with a massive round under their belts, and this is still continuing in that same fashion. This still is very much anyone's game. No clear winner just yet. Now, out through mid, Letney already posted up. Shox offers himself up to the AWP. No trade in sight. Kenny is on the Xbox, but you don't imagine that Letney's too keen on re-peeking down into middle. That's why Esperanto is here to switch things up and watch it from CT. He's got support from window should he need it. You can see Letney rotate up into that position if required. But that doesn't look to be the case. Cat control seems to be the order of the day now for G2.
Yeah, Amanek gets across in safely. Esperanto doesn't need to take this fight into middle. He can just hold the door. They have a man advantage. The pressure's not on Valiance to find the next kill there in Pretty City right now. Although it will be the mid to B, it seems, maybe for G2, or at least utility towards it. They get Amanek out inside of middle. Smoke towards CT spawn. Esperanto's blinded as well by his teammates' flash when he moves back in. Amanek He's just going to hide in the smoke while they go for the cat play. He can late lurk onto Esperanto, but this has been done before by Shock, so I wonder if Valiance are going to remain aware. Otto's on the cross, and they don't get rid of him this time. No one dropping in below. Amanex too late. Esperanto was already ready for that Valiance. Nice to see they reacted to what made them lose the round previously. It's 20 seconds as the bombs goes down for G2, but almost dropped by the jump shot. The nade won't finish off the job. Kenny's already up on Cat, and he might actually be able to find one.
Yeah, the ball's rolling, but it's still got a bit of a distance to go. Kenny raring to life. Another kill, ducking away. Kenny almost does get shut down, and now it's Lucky alone. 1v3, up from the ramp they come, and Nexa deletes him. Try as Kenny might, it's not enough to win the round. Two fantastic shots, and it almost looked like he had the third. It seemed like Kenny had got into that mode where he just looks so deadly in those sorts of situations, but they're just able to get a leash back on the beast that is Kenny S. And Valiance tying this up, making this more and more competitive round by round, almost grinding their way back into the lead here.
And this may be the round to do it. Look at G2's money, but the issue is, Harry, another B rush. This has been the bane of Valiant's existence. Luckily enough, it's not off of spawn. They just go down towards lower. It's actually a fast mid play. They've got one in B already, but Lucky is so quick up towards his site. Letney gets one. Hunter will push through the door, but he's got to convert the spray, and he's being pressured from another man. Doesn't expect the third. Amanek is here, and he has to get this kill now to open up the possibility of a plant. Letney won't allow him, and Shock's alone in middle with three faces on the other side of that smoke. None of them smiling. 7-6, Valiance will take that lead, as you say, Harry, but that was the half buy for G2. They were just looking for a bomb plant, for some money, for a chance to upset with those pistols. Now they've got the buy, and they can equal it up again.
And I mean, at this point in time, it really does feel like either one of these teams deserves this victory so much. You know, G2, they came to this event. They had a disappointing loss on day one to the French Frogs, the X3D Max roster. That seemed like a bit of an upset, but by day two, it seemed like the G2 we wanted. They showed up, they grinded their way through, they got to where we are now. Valiance, they just went straight through the upper bracket, 1-2 best of ones. They got here on the back of it. Was not an easy path by any stretch of the imagination. They beat teams such as Mouse Sports and Windigo in order to secure it. But I mean, you know this one means so much more to G2. You know, Valiant's a team on the rise. This is a much smaller event, you know, to a team of G2's caliber than maybe it is to Valiance. But this one just means a lot on account of it, you know, being on home soil, and it's one that they were able to pick up in 2017. Lucky, Amanek, and Jax obviously haven't had that chance yet. But here we go, grouping up down towards mid. G2 creepy crawling forward. Otto in position, and that's the fight he's going to win all day long. Looking for another shot. Wow. Has him trapped in the corner. Kenny now on the Xbox, trying to shut down Letney over in mid, and he gets the leg off despite being fully flashed. Nexa, the only man left today, trying desperately to buy some time, decides to fall back for long. Tries to set up to play the retake, but we need to have some kills come through soon for Valiance if they want to have any chance of getting back into this round, and there it is. This is now very doable. Hunter's creeping up the ramp. Lucky's not ready for that aggression. Kenny's over on short. The bomb is planted for him. Amanek's gone on a wrap background through CT. But Kenny right now is the only man who can stop this defuse, and they're sticking it. He's missed the lineup. The molly burning Hunter off. They've bought time. This is anybody's round, but they've got to get on the bomb. Kenny trying to retreat, and he gets dropped. Valiance get on it, and an 8th round for the CT side. They make the retake work in spite of the fast double kill from Shock.
And what a call from Nexa as well to give up the A site like that, not even try and, you know, fight the cat push from G2, despite already being a man down and knowing you're going to have to retake 3 on 4. That takes balls to give up that site and make that call rather than just fight to the death rather. But Nexa, he makes the perfect decision, and Valiance, they don't lose a single man on that retake there. Great teamwork. This roster really has been improving in these past few months, and they are showing it on the server, leading against the French on home soil. This would be a miraculous win if they could get it. But G2 They've never given up. They've never slowed down. Even being 11-4 down on Vertigo, they managed to pull that game back into their hands. 8-6, last round of the half here, and G2 again slow up the catwalk, 2 outside of long. It's Nexa in the pit and a AAA setup here from Valiance. The rotate from Hunter available at any point in time, but they've got to watch out for that potential mid-lurk that G2 have been throwing in time after time. Amanek does get the entry up on long. That's Nexa dead in the pit. Otto, he could line them up, but he only gets one. The trade there so fast, and Esperanto on the edge of the smoke. 3 kills, locking down that cat play. They do not expect it, and Valiance lock down a 9th round. They take the lead in the first half, back and forth, but it will be Valiance. Now we move into their T side, and we're going to see what they can muster. G2 can pull this back, or will this be Valiance heading to fight Mousesports in the grand final? Find out how this one's going to unfold in just a moment.
We have seen impeccable resilience from the hometown heroes of G2. Specifically, you think back to Vertigo, they were 11-4 down. They almost made the comeback happen. Here on Dust, similar situation, Valiance leading the charge. We need that French resilience to continue if they want to stay afloat in this third and final map. Already Valiance, they're out through long. Kenny's dueling down mid with that USP. Hasn't been able to find anything initially. Lots of utility here for Valiance. 2 smokes for the cross, Molotov for the bomb site or for the post plant. Flashes to try and facilitate this. And this is going to be an A play. Only Shocks here to hold them back.
Oh no. Ugh. That is so awkward. The smoke rebounds off of the corner and it's going to go down into the pit. They don't have a cross smoke. Luckily, there's no one in CT right now, but it would be a problem. Actually, it's KDS up close. They do manage to blind him and get up towards the site, but Jax has already taken first blood, and Shox is close up as well. Kenny 1 for 1, and now Shox all on him. Jax is pinned back behind the corner, and Hunter's going to hunt him down. Last player left on this A site, and he's got it all to do in the 1-on-2. Letney takes him, and now Valiance can get the plant in. It's a retake for G2, but they have the kit to play with.
Amanek over on short, starting to pressure Lucky on this silent rotation. They don't know he's here. Lucky, they are keeping an eye on it, but he's dropped the bomb, and Amanek here to help. G2, they find the pistol.
That was so great as well, because the player up on short spots the bomb in the corner on Goose. It was actually the player on default who didn't have the bomb, and he couldn't cross back without fighting the USP. That gives room for his teammate to move in from the spawn, and he has the info exactly where to aim. G2, they get the kill, they get the, I was going to say retake, but that wasn't even a retake. There's no money, no plant. Valiance have to eco this one. And G2 closing that gap bit by bit.
And this is like the first time in this series that we haven't seen a force buy into this second round. Valiant's looking to try and field the buy as fast as they can over on this T side. Won't have the AWP on Otto. It will just be rifles across the board. Kenny opening things up is in danger here and will get dropped. Shots to try and pick up the pieces, and indeed he will. Doubling down, looking for the triple, maybe even the quad, as he makes a boatload of money from these pistol players. Everyone falling for Valiance, and only Kenny getting dropped on the G2 side.
That's a talking point as well. We discussed coming into this game, do we have the nuke Kenny or do we have the vertigo Kenny? Well, right now we have the nuke Kenny. He's on 6 kills, Harry. That's not enough. We need him to step up. But coming into the CT side, now having the AWP in his hands after that SMG round made a lot of money. This could be where Kenny gets back to life.
That's what I was going to say, is the nuke Kenny had a very weak T half and then recovered pretty well in the CT side. So hopefully we can see a similar story here on Dust2. He will have the AWP, as you say. Doesn't have armor behind it. He's running that glass cannon, so we'll have to bear aim punch in mind. Shock's holding close over in mid. A bit of a bonus attempted here from G2, keeping 3 MP9s into this round. Combining that with the lack of armor on Kenny, and this buy for G2 is not great. So if they're able to pick this up, that's a pretty big round in and of itself. But already there's Hunter. Good for one. The bomb spotted and dropped, but the trade found quickly. Kenny in this one and done position. Normally you drop down once finding that first kill, but Kenny's going to stick around and actually starts to re-aggress down through short. That's massive, because now he gets the information. This is going to be the B play. Oh no, it's not. Nexa turning back around. They've dealt with Kenny, and this leaves Lucky alone. The AWP's been picked up. That's a free upgrade for Valiance, and Lucky with just the AUG. What can he do in the 1v3?
He did get the cross off at least, flash to blind the AWPer, but Letney's on the back line and he's not ready for it. Letney, 24 kills on this man, and Valiance take another round, Harry. They deal with that weak buy from G2. The SMGs, the glass cannon AWP, it's not enough there for the CT side. And this could start to get a little bit awkward now. With Valiance taking their first rifle round, they've broken the money. It's G2 on pistols, and this is where we could see an 11-8.
And I mean, honestly, hats off to Letney. He has been having a back on Vertigo, and now here on Dust, he's kept it up and actually is going, you know, even further than the heights he was able to reach on the previous map. I mean, 24 and 6.
He has 10 more kills than the next best player in the server, and that player isn't even on his team. Oh, he is, so Hunt has 15. 14 being the max on G2. That's a performance. Especially on Dust2, a map that G2 have shown to be promising on time and time again. But will they crumble now at the worst of times? More buys in the future, but just that flash and a few pistols here for G2 to try and take some damage from the likes of Valiance. He's trying to fake this B site a little bit, keep these players in position. Don't allow them to rotate, but oh, the aggression. The mid-round push from Kenny up on Catwalk, and might get caught. Esperanto, nade in hand, he's to get shot in the face. 25 HP the difference, and now Valiance double back. They go in towards middle. Hunter stays on the Catwalk, and he gets that kill. That spurs them forward. They look like they wanted to back off for a second, but that now will not be the case. It's just Shocks here, but fully blind, he drops the bomb, and a 4-on-4. G2 could certainly make this interesting.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go, but Letney continuing to pad those stats. Shocks is in with his second kill of the round. Money is plentiful here for G2, but he still might want to fall off and hold on to this AUG instead. No, wrapping in through long. He's going to give it a go. Amanek up on short as well. G2 times of the essence, and now they've lost Shocks. That's enough for Amanek to decide to get out of danger. An 11th round on the cards here for Valiance, and they will be securing it.
Yeah, Hunter was already deep within the site, and there we go. That's the round done and dusted. Valiance deal with the pistols. Got a little bit sloppy there for a second, but won't be a huge worry. Now we have the buy back in for G2, and they're going to have everything, Harry. They're going to have that AWP, this time with armor on Kenny. And it's do or die time now. 11-8, one of their last opportunities to keep this game alive. Because if not, Valiance is going to start to build up money, and they're going to take this round lead further and further. G2, not out of this one, but certainly on the back foot.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this is the change-up now from G2, this double AWP between Amanek and Kenny. I'm hoping that's a bit of a solution for this G2 squad. Ooh. Jack struggling. I mean, that has kind of been the case in this map. He will get remedy. Kenny, where's that come from? He might have made something possible, but no, because the second someone steps up for G2, there's an immediate response on behalf of Valiance. Amanek, in what was a 1v3, they know where he is. And he must be tempted to at least give this site a look into. He's going to wrap round to long with the bomb planted on short, though. No smoke, no kit, no Molotov. He is going to be hard-pressed to make this 1v2 a reality.
But he's got to go. He's got to give it a try. Actually opting not to. We'll just back off and save the AWP. Indecision right now, it seems, for Amanek, and the pressure really is on for G2. It's the risk-reward of trying to win this 1-on-2 on your own, or playing the long game, giving that AWP over to Kenny maybe, who was able to find 2 kills with his up on the car. Kenny's job was done perfectly fine in this round, but it was his team that were unable to pick up the slack. Amanek will have to save. Valiance 12 rounds on the T side, 4 away from those grand finals here on map number 3. It's been a long one. And G2, they don't want to come this far only to fall this hard. They need something here on the CT side.
Tactical pause now for Valiance. Even though they picked that round up, they're giving themselves a moment just to compose themselves, make sure everyone is on the same page. They know the stage in this game they are at. This is in their hands. It is their game to lose at this point in time. Sitting 12-8 up, looking nothing but comfortable since getting onto these rifles over on the T side, keeping your opponent's economy down in the doldrums. G2, the reality here is they're very much on the back foot, and it's going to require a massive, not just individual effort from anyone, but a team effort. We need to see more from them.
Oh, look at this, flash through the smoke, and everyone's blind, CTs and Ts combined, but the rifles win the battles, 4-on-2. Amanek still with his AWP. He's going up towards his A site. This is risky. At the end of the day, if you don't win this round, you want to save the AWP at a bare minimum, but Amanek is committed here. There's no saving going on if Valiance push up long, but they're taking their sweet time, and that's why Shox has begun to question it. Thing is, he's already through middle, so unless he got very unlucky on the timing, no one really should have gotten through T-spawn yet. So he's got them pinned in on long, and he's pretty aware of that, but Valiance are also aware of the possibility of a flank. Flash back to the T-spawn. Amanek waiting for contact. It's all on him. He could be the do or die. He could make or break this round for G2. And there's the start. Bomb drop. Hunter needs to go back and grab that. Instead, it'll be someone else picking it back up. Hunter's on the site, and Amanek shut him down. The Molotovs may be a bit of a problem. Hot under his feet and hot on the collar. Amanek's going to have to move back. Shox is rotated round, and the plants come through safe. That's not for Otto on the AWP, though, back on long.
Yeah, Amanek has certainly made this doable, but it's just how much more can he and Shox do? It's a monumental effort to have even done this. They're going to try and boost up into the bomb site, perhaps, and that looks to be the case. Shox, making noise. Now they might be aware. Letney's certainly considering it. Shox over the top, and Otto spots him. Amanek, 1v2, gets the first man, looking for the other, and almost a flick. So close, but Otto, a massive performance over towards long. A sigh of relief there as that comes down to the wire. That was just the one saved AWP carried forward.
And that's such a huge round for Otto. He's certainly been struggling in this series so far, bottom of his entire team as well, but he gets 3 kills with the AWP there and wins the one-on-one against Amanek, who was on a tear that round. Huge props to Otto. That could have been an eco win for G2, but now they're back on Guns Harry. They're still in with a chance. This isn't over. Shock's up on short. Kenny on the AWP. He's down in middle. And that's where Valiant's peer.
Ooh, Amanek has opened up. Now, 2 players still residing over here in the tunnels. The bomb, not one of them. It's instead on the back of Nexa. This is screaming B play right now. But there's always the potential that that changes. Valiance don't have that much information. They don't really know what this B bomb site has in store. They're looking to try and test the waters at this side of the map. Kenny just now leaving mid, trying to float between the two, decides to anchor down at this B side of the map. Ooh. Kenny definitely was the potential for him to find something there, but instead now falling off the angle, and
he goes back.
If Kenny stays here, this is very doable. He's going to try and peek into Otto, and Kenny now bested. These rotations have to start to come through. Amanek hung out to dry. A 1v4 inside of the site required, but Amanek, he's doing the damage. They finally shut him down, but he's gone above and beyond. Amanek's done his job. Now Lucky, Shocked, and Jax have to do theirs. And through the smoke, Lucky is able to make it so. Hunter, 1v3 required. Bomb planted for tunnels, and emerging from that position is Shocked. G2 in with a 9th. They're not ready to give up just yet, and I could not be happier. The more rounds we get to see, the better as far as I'm concerned.
What a phenomenal tournament Amanek has had as well. He has just been showing up in every single game that G2 have played. Not only that AWP round where he almost wins the essential 1-on-4 on that A site just a moment ago, but he locks down B with 3 in this round. Kenny getting caught by Otto, even though he legged him at the start through those mid doors as well. That could have gone all so wrong for G2, but they hang on by the skin of their teeth, 13-9, keeping this one still alive. If they lose that round, their money would have been broken, but now they've got a little bit of a bank built up. Otto covering the mid-cross, Hunter going fast. Valiance, they've slowed this right down in these past few rounds. So close to the finish line. But G2 is still winding their sails, don't want to give it up without a fight. Shox is holding close mid. Lucky has the cross as well. Kenny on his other AWP up on the car watching catwalk. Classical position, and Valiance might walk into it.
I mean, this is just such a key round because neither team have that much money left. G2, they're in that awkward spot where it's like, do you force till the end of this series if they lose, or do they take an eco and try and play for OT? And Valiance, I mean, they're in a similar boat. This is looking like it's going to be the A play, and G2, they've read into this as a B play. They've got 3 players, they've hedged their bets, they've taken a gamble, and it might not pay off. Jack's over at long. He's been very quiet in this map. He opens up, and what a time for him to find 3. Looking for the 4th, he will finally get quelled, but Kenny still alive, still kicking over at the crossroads. Rotation coming in from Shox, who's now posted up in CT. He's going to find Hunter and Esperanto, 1v4, AWP in hand, 25 seconds left. Surely there is no way back into this for him. The flashes render him useless, and Shox and Jax keep G2 alive.
Like you say, Jax having a really rough map right now. He had 5 kills, and he finds 3 up on long. All headshots, shutting down this play from the likes of Valiant, keeping G2 in this game and breaking the money most importantly. 13-10, G2 take double digits on this final map. And they put Valiance on pistols. Potential B rush here, at least later in the round for Valiance, not off the back of spawn. They know G2 have a hell of a lot of incendiaries, so they'll take their time. One of those going down on the catwalk, as is the smoke on the Xbox. Valiance flashing their way into middle with 3 players already out. That bomb up in tunnels for the late lurk, the late split within the B site. Lucky's flashed off, and they've got the info, the AWP's in the door. Lecky's been dropped as well. This is where the tunnels player needs to come in clutch as well, while the pressure is being put on middle, but Amanek's got his sights trained, and Lucky's got his pistol out. Hunter able to get the kill. Esperanto too, but there's still a man up in B that they haven't accounted for. Amanek's peeked the window and taken down another player, and the top mid split as well doing damage, but it's Amanek with 4.
G2, they're making this look possible. We said about the French resilience. They demonstrated it back on Vertigo. They're doing it again here on Dust. This was what? A 13-8 scoreline in favor of Valiance at one point in time. G2 almost back in the swing of things. This buy is not looking great from the Valiant side, and G2 trying to take full advantage of that, already finding one. Lucky arriving with another. Nex has been brought down so low, and there's still a man in the pit. The bomb's on the back of Nexter, and he's all the way out at long with just 4 points of health. If he goes down, this round should be over. Tapping away, and he'll get dropped. Otto and Letny 2v4, and this bomb is in the worst position it could possibly be. 2 AWPs on the side of G2 to just home in down long. Letny's been removed, and if there was one man who I had a lot of faith in to clutch it, it would have been Letny. Losing him is worth a hell of a lot, and that is now G2 a 12th round. Just a couple ago, Valiance called that pause in, if you remember, to take a bit of a timeout, have a breather, make sure everyone was on the same page so that this game didn't slip through their fingers. And now in round 26, it's looking like that is very much a possibility. A partial investment here, what looks like a B rush, and 2 players on the other side of G2 to answer back.
I mean, it can't be a B rush. They have no utility. They have to wait out the smokes, the Molotovs, whatever G2 want to throw into it. There's not even a flashbang for Valiance to try and catch a player off guard, try and cut off this AWP. There's no reason to smoke B right now. Amanek's trained in on it, and he's going to open first blood. Hunt is dead, and Amanek is not done yet. 3 kills. Get out of my sight. Amanek keeping this game in contention. G2, 13 rounds. They will equal up with that of Valiance. And what a time for these guys to come alive. They realize it's happening, Harry. Valiance might have just slipped at the worst possible moment.
I mean, the crowd here had been unbelievably silent, you know, and now you can hear they're believing, G2 are believing, Valiance, they called in another tactical pause, and this feels heartbreaking. I mean, Letny's playing out of his mind, Hunter's up there with him. I mean, you know, Nexter, we've been bigging him up as someone, you know, who's been up at the top of the board consistently. He's struggling just a little bit alongside Otto, and I think Otto is someone who, if he steps up, Valiance can still get back into this. Right now, we're just kind of lacking the AWP to challenge Amanek and Kenny S, who have been given so much free ground. Not to mention, just the kind of general slip of the momentum of this game is a hard hurdle to overcome if you are Valiance. This was your game to lose, as I said. And now that's a very real potential. This is a team on the rise. This is a team that, you know, is looking to challenge for these top spots and has showed so much improvement, worked so hard, and done such a good job to get here. And now it could all elude them. We promised this to be a close series, Hugo.
For them to even take out the best team at this event on this map as well. And now, backs up against the wall, Harry. It's been 5 rounds in a row for G2. Valiance, if they lose this, it's G2 on 14 and the money is gone. They have to make that decision on whether they want to buy or play for OT, but that's not to happen yet. Kenny S, oh dear. Just a couple of meters, and that's all he needs. Esperanto walking to his death. And Kenny S, he's not done just yet. The flashes start to fly over, but he's still on the cross. There's his second kill. The bomb's been dropped, and Kenny's coming to life. Can Otto stop him? Yes, he can. This round is still very much in the grasp for Valiance. But 4 players up for G2. The retake possibility, and Shox waits for no one.
Oh, but Otto, I said, if he steps up, maybe there's a chance he'll be in with a double. But Jax arriving just in the nick of time, trying to be the savior. He'd been so quiet in the first half. What a resurgence he's having here when it matters most. Letny tucked away, top of the server. We need to see why. And Letny damage done, but Jackson with the trade. Next to 1v2, down to the 1v1. And Amanek on the receiving end. Flash round, he hops on the bomb, and he's sticking it. He's sticking it. Next to is the beat for G2. 14 rounds. They take the lead. Amanek with balls of steel and a devastating round to lose. If you're Valiance, you claw your way back into it. You get so close. And it gets snatched away. G2 now in the lead. One away from map and series point.
Grand final point. And Amanek, he throws that flashbang, Harry, and he taps that, or he sticks that bomb right as the flash goes off. So for the player up on short, all he's hearing is a flash. He didn't even hear the defuse. That's why he didn't go for the full peak. What a way to win a round. Amanek, again, bailing G2 out. Could they ask more of this man? Every time they need him, he's there. Another pause for G2 running dry, and the money now for Valiance being brought into question. They've got to buy. The bomb plant helped out massively with that.
And it's that much more important to mention and highlight Amanek because of how weak that performance was early on in Vertigo. He's recovered. Kenny now arriving as well. These orbs have been so valuable.
Esperanza ran out on long, assuming it would be smoked, but the smoke landed above the wall. It failed.
Disaster. And it's tiny mistakes like that that cost you so much. The crack starting to show. The pressure starting to get to Valiance now. Jack's holding close, flashed into long, and he's going to double it down. The bomb dropped. Letney and Otto, they've been in this situation before. TaS were trying to clutch it out in the 2-on-X, this time a 2v5. So much utility raining their way. They spot the AWP and they brought him down low. G2, just 47 points of health stand between them and map and series point. The wraparound into top mid from Jax. He's hungry for kills. He's hungry for more. And this position is not one that Valiance are going to predict. Surely not. Otto just watching for this wrap in through long. He knows that they have to retrieve that bomb.
Ooh.
They do seem aware of the potential. Otto's trying to clear it, trying to draw that attention away. Jax.
They're trying to save. That's the issue. And Jax, he's going to realize he's found him. Otto's dead. That's the AWP gone. Valiance, they needed every penny they could muster. And now they're out of cash, Harry. Letney's going to try and save this AWP. He's going to let these players pass. Economical damage does not matter, but he's going to have to take a fight. They'll surround him. Kenny has to clean up house. And it's G2, match, series, and grand final point, 15-13. They need one more, and the bank accounts run dry for Valiance, just $3,400 each.
For those of you who are perhaps just tuning in, or in case you forgot, this was 13-8 in favor of Valiance. Since that scoreline, they've not picked up a round. Everything's been coming up French here in Tour. And this buy is dismal. A last chance for Valiance to try and dig themselves out of the hole. Their last chance to stay afloat. G2 are on the finish line here in this semi-final. All that's left to do is cross it, and then we get the Mouse Sports G2 rivalry that we wanted to see. Jack, here's that Molotov burning a player down, and with it, he's dropped the bomb again. He's been so good at finding it. They do manage to mop him up, but they have to get past Kenny on this AWP, and that's a task in and of itself. He tries to go back in for the repeat. Will get traded out. Letney's got a decent bit of ground over here towards short. G2 maybe getting a bit ahead of themselves there in that round. And now Letney shutting down both players over in CT. It's Amanek asked to step up once again, but he has been so good in these clutch situations in the past.
There's only one smoke for the cross. It has to go down, and it will, but the issue is he's wrapped back up Cat. He's going to have the height advantage. Letney's already up on this angle, though, and surely he doesn't expect such a close position. Amanek peering in. The dink's there. He's down to 30. Does he even go for this? It's not like they need the money. It doesn't make a difference. He's maybe scared of gifting off the AWP, but Otto's already found Kenny's picked up from long, so this save makes no difference. It's worth Amanek to just peer in, to just look for damage, take guns away, because G2 have every penny left for this last round of the half.
Yeah, you raise a very good point there. Does feel like a bit of a mystery as well as to why Valiance are hunting this. They need the money a lot more than G2 do. If Amanek's able to even get one, that has ramifications, but Letney finds him. Overtime now very much on the cards. At the final hurdle, G2, they've stumbled. Will they get back to their feet? Or are we going to get through to overtime?
And what a time for Valiance to find their last couple of rounds, potentially, Harry. A 13-8, falling apart to a 15-13, and then they take one. Finally, the curse is lifted. The streak is broken. But G2, all the money in the world, and one round to win. time for a breather here for Valiance. They need a moment.
Honestly, I think we all do. I mean, it culminates now, right? We've been watching this series play out for hours, and the first map, G2, they emerged victorious. Vertigo, that was the pocket pick of Valiance. They've been pracking it, and that one still came down to the wire. And here on Dust, it was looking like Valiance were going to take it. G2, they've done the impossible. But Valiance might do a miniature reverse sweep of their own to take this through to overtime. Kenny, posted up on short, has this AWP in hand. Won't spy anyone just yet, but Valiance are down in middle. This bomb on the back of Nexa looking to join up with the rest of the gang, and they get mid control for free.
Lucky just spotting. Got to be aware of Letney in the tunnels as well. His lurk won the round for Valiance in the previous round up on Catwalk. His lurk in tunnels could do the same again. Lucky spots it, 2 players. Not the bomb, but that's enough info to call for the rotation. Amanek gets aggressive, but to his own demise. It's a team kill from Esperanto. That could cost everything. Nexa takes down Lucky, and the B-side's open for business, but Shox is back in town, shutting down Otto in middle. It's a 3-on-2 on the retake. Plenty of util. The kits are in, and it's Valiance versus G2. Overtime or bust.
It would be heartbreaking if that TK betrays Valiance. Kenny and Jax, all that remain though. Shox falls down in the tunnels. The bomb is planted for Letney. That Molotov going to delay this retake even further. Kenny, S, and Jax, they're hard-pressed to find much here. Time ticking away. The push now looking to come in, and Jax falls. Kenny gets the first, but not the second. Overtime. It's happening. Map number 3 goes the distance, the full 30 rounds.
And more. So much more, Harry. Who knows how long this could go on for. It's an absolute blinder of a match, and so lucky that Valiance don't fall after Esperanto kills his teammate. That could have been the worst way to lose in map 3 in round 30, but they hold strong. Again, huge work from Letney in this round. That's been across the entire series so far. He's sitting at 33 kills at the end of this. And well, the end hasn't even been reached, Harry. Round 31 on the horizon. And money out the window now. 16K MR3. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, money, that restriction goes right out the window. This just becomes about raw ability. And while the fast B play from Valiant trying to mix things up, but the kills coming up G2 right now. No response from the Valiant squad, but the flashbangs are good. Everyone's blind. It's chaos inside of B, but Lucky and Amanek, they might have just done enough. Otto in the 1v4, silenced, and G2 a 16th round to their name.
The round they wish they had just a moment ago, Harry. The B lockdown, but Valiant's not going to be able to get into the site. They try and catch G2 off guard with the fast play. First round of overtime, I do understand it. Their T side has been struggling once G2 really started to get these AWPs in their hands. Once Kenny S started firing off and Amanek came alive. Valiant, are they going to do it again, or are they just going B for the tunnels control? That seems to be the case. Amanek's had enough. He's getting aggressive, and Otto's posted up. T-side pick, and now Valiant, after that kill, they've doubled back. They want to hit this B site. The smoke will prohibit them for now, though. And G2 will rotate their mid-player back inside of the door, so they have a little bit of a better defense on this side of the map. But Valiant, they're still going for it.
Yeah, they're still looking for this B split, and they might just get it. Shox trying to hold down middle. A big responsibility. They almost line up for him. Close, but no cigar. Lucky, head on a swivel. So much to do, and Hunter is able to get rid of him. Kenny and Jax. 2v4. They were in the 2v2 in the round prior to try and secure map. Well, sorry, to try and secure that grand finals spot. Now the 2v4, they find the first. Kenny leading the charge, Letney in with the trade, and it's Jax left alone, 1 on 3. 2 players tagged down low, but is that going to be enough? This AWP at the back of the site, such a nuisance, such a pest, but Jax deals with him. Will he anticipate Hunter in the same position, however? The old bait and switch, and Hunter peeks wide. A 16th round there. Valiant trading 1 for 1. Of course, 19 is the magic number we are looking for in this overtime.
And I love that call from Valiant. They weren't going to go for the initial just straight up B rush, but once they get that kill, once Otto catches Amanek in that Molotov, Valiant, they double back, they send 2 players through mid, they get that split once the smoke fades. and they take the B site. Auto starting to spam down middle. I wonder if Letney's going to play off the back of this and try and rush within the site. That's exactly what he's going to do with the AWP, but the flashbang in response sends him packing. Almost better than a smoke or a Molotov at that point. They wanted to get rid of his vision. And they do exactly that, sending the AWP back, and he swaps over to the AK, but Otto's actually found a kill with his own, shutting down Kenny in middle, taking the man advantage here for Valiance. What a scalp to find. And with that, they might send their way into the A site for a change. It's been B back-to-back, looking to switch it up.
And I mean, surely it can't happen again. Surely G2 can't have an almost comeback happen and then have it elude them this time. No, it's not a second map. It's map 3, the one that decides who goes home and who goes to the grand finals. They've shut down the A play. They're making it happen. They're digging deep, giving it everything they've got, and they've got Otto trapped in the corner, the bomb on his back. He is stuck here, hung out to dry. Nexa has to come up clutch, and he can't. Otto left standing, and Lucky shuts him down. 17-16, in spite of losing Kenny early on. They're able to hold on to that round. Impressive stuff from G2. Valiance managing one round over on the T side. They've now got to go flawless in their CT half if they want to pick this up.
And Lucky, what a turnaround from him as well. He's just been a consistent pillar of this CT side, constantly getting these trades for G2. Up there at the top of the board alongside Amanek and Shox. But really, anyone's game here as we move into the second half. G2 holding the lead by the skin of their teeth. But as said, Harry, we've seen them take a near comeback only to still lose the map. Will this one be the same? Kenny fights down mid with the AWP. Double AWP for Valiance. Letney going to join Otto, and Hunter's got the quick molly up on long, but these Ts are already out and in towards the dumpster. Amanek on his own, sectioned off, but he does take down Nexa. The flashbangs keep back these CTs for long enough, and that will send Valiance packing towards the extremities of the site. They've given up on long. Otto's posted on the ramp, but right now G2 have rounded the corner. Jax with the double entry, stepping up again when we need him most. Otto drops Lucky in the meantime, but Jax is still here, and Otto's still kicking down the door. 2 kills with the AWP. Bomb dropped in the site, and G2 still a man up. Shox has managed to get himself around this corner, and no one has an idea just yet.
Amanek baits that first shot, tries to go back in. Shox, as you said, he's the unknown factor, and Amanek is doing such a good job of peeling this attention away, but finally they've dealt with him, and now Otto, will he be ready?
No.
That flash is perfect. He has to get this kill, and he will. Kenny left alone, 1 AWP versus 2, but if there was any man for the job, it has to be Kenny. Yes, there's the first. Spots him on the ramp as well with the jump peek. Tries to fake it out. The nade finds damage, but Otto getting the kill. Heartbreak Hotel for Kenny in that round. Tying this up now, our Valiance 17-17. The next 2 rounds, if one team is able to chain 2 together, they pick up this series and lock in a grand finals spot.
4 kills for Otto in that one with the AWP as well. Such patient display of skill on ramp, not giving the kills up to Shox, Lucky, Jax, all these short players. 17-17, first to 19, and Esperanto, he wants a piece of the pie, but nothing up on long. Already the cross for Jax. Again, G2 get a player behind the dumpster. Nexa, he has a molly for this. He could get rid of this player's life in an instant. Does he realize? Does he know? That's the question. In the meantime, his teammates are all going up on short. G2 trying to take over this A site once again. They've had enough of B, but Valiance have realized that. They've gotten aggressive. Letney's pushed up inside of the tunnel, so this rotate from Hunter should come through, but they're still scared of the possibility of a mid-split. They've not seen this push, but now they'll know. Shox is dropped in, once again taking the entry, but Otto still alive. He was such a nuisance in the previous round, and he's looking to do it again. Shut down from short, though, not expecting the late peek from Lucky, and a 3-on-3. Make that a 3-on-2. The bomb plant yet to go down for G2, and Valiance closing the gap.
Just Lucky now. Amanek, the only man left, and as good as he's looked, a 1v3 is such a tricky task, especially with Letney over at short. He could shut this whole round down. Amanek does take the first, but there's Letney. Map, series, grand final point goes the way of Valiance. 18-17. It was G2 to arrive at it first. They went 15-13 up. And Valiance now turning this on its head. Public enemy #1 in France, some say. And G2, how has this fallen apart? Such a fall from grace. The comeback was looking good. I believed, you believed, the crowd believed, G2 were believing, and it sounds like they still believe. We have to see something huge in this round to take us through to a double overtime.
Otto's got to be careful. Shox is on the angle. He's aiming a bit high, though. Otto will catch him off. Shox not ready for that re-peek, and a re-molly down just to make sure G2 don't go in. Valiance have the man advantage, and they have the match point. Everything coming up Valiance right now. For them to turn this around after being down, after G2 pulling this back into their favor, it's been such a back and forth map, and it's not done just yet. G2 though, 4 on 5. They need something incredible here. They need a hero. Will Amanek be that man? He has been so many times here for G2. And it's looking like the B play after all here for this French side. Grouped up in the tunnels they are. Hunter and Otto left to lock this one down. No mid control, no rotate available in time here for Valiance. It's down to these two to keep the game alive.
And Otto, he's had such a return to form. He has been the man tearing G2 apart in this overtime. They start to push in. They have to deal with this problem. And Otto, he's been spotted, tagged up. They are able to find him. Hunter now, the unknown factor, tucked away at the car. Does take down the first man, still alive, still kicking. In with a second. He's dropped the bomb, but Amanek gets the trade. It's him and Kenny, backs against the wall. These two, the AWPing duo that was out for G2, now have to try and salvage a double overtime. They have to try and get this bomb across, and they will. Kenny's fallen, and Amanek's gone down as well. Valiant, they take the victory in overtime, 19-17. The resilience, the ability to come back versus the heavy favorites with the home crowd behind them to take it to overtime and then win convincingly at that. Stellar stuff from Valiance. No one can take it away from them. G2, they played fantastically. They demonstrated resilience throughout, but in the overtime, it all fell apart. And Valiance, I mean, this is going to be one hell of a semi-final in spite of the fact we don't have the G2 versus Mouse one that we were touting. We have that dark horse of Valiance now trying to go toe-to-toe with Mouse, and it's a shot at revenge for the Mouse Sports squad.
Yeah, and over on Dust2 is where Valiance were able to initially take that game away from Mouse. I imagine we might have that in the veto later on as well. Will Vertigo be there? More question. That's been Mouse's veto every single game so far in this tournament. Will they let it slip? Will they, come out with a surprise? Who knows? There's so many questions for this grand final, and what a game, I've got to say. G2, commiserations. They played their hearts out, but it is not enough. It's Valiance versus Mouse Sports for the grand final. And wow, Frankie, what did you make of that one?
Well, I thought you guys did a fantastic job. That's what I want to say first, because I know that's the last game that they're casting for us. We've just said goodbye to them, but Harry and Hugo, they did a fantastic job, as I just said, and they will return in the Caffeine Overtime show after the grand final. So if you're a fan of those boys and those shirts, do not worry, they will return. I can't promise you a costume change, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best to convince them, because I want to see more of that wardrobe. Now, where do we even begin with that series? Do you want to start with the end?
Yes.
That overtime, Potter?
We have to talk about that overtime, because Valiance, it was so impressive. They were down by, I believe G2 won 6 rounds in a row. It became 15-13 suddenly, and it looked like G2 were going to close that out. Valiance did not have an answer, and then out of nowhere, Otto steps up, Letney steps up. Specifically in that overtime, Otto, I believe, had multiple 4K rounds with that AWP, and man, he thrived in that chaos, because G2 got those entries to make it into that A site almost every time.
But he didn't thrive early on, though, did he, on that map? And actually, maybe it wouldn't have gone to overtime if he had woken up sooner, Blair.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been the case, right? But for Amanek, just point out the fact that he was bottom fragging for the team, and when they won the 6 rounds in a row, he got 12 kills. That's 2 kills per round as an average, and that was him just coming alive again, because he was kind of comparatively quiet in his entire series compared to his form throughout his entire tournament. But Otto, man, like at one point, it was almost like he was not missing anything. That's the Otto we always wanted to see, and it's great to see him really step up. But the one player I'm going to point out is Letney. He's been the guy who's been super quiet for this team. Whenever we talk about players on this lineup, we want to see Otto, we want to see Hunter do that stuff, which he does, Nexa calling and all that jazz. But Letney was the star for these guys in this series.
He absolutely was. His B plays, it's so strong on your team to have a player that's able to move around at B and solo hold it every single time. And Letney did exactly that. Starting with that pistol 4K, leading all the way into the OT, Letney held down that B bomb site, and it definitely allowed Valiance to win.
Well, we need to have a chat to Nexa very quickly because he has got a grand final to prepare for. Nexa, congratulations. What's it mean to be in the final?
This is amazing. Like, last time I fell short, it was something similar to this. We lost in the semi-final in overtime on the third map, you know, so actually winning it this time and making to the final feels absolutely amazing.
For, the vertigo pick coming in from you guys, it looked like you knew what you were doing on the T side of yours, right?
Yeah.
Just explain to everyone how hard it is to play that CD side, because it's not like you were struggling, but it was just so hard, right?
Yeah, like the rotations are super hard, and actually you don't need to know any smokes or anything. You can simply just walk up as a terrorist, you know, and just kill people everywhere. It's actually that hard to play as CT. You can just get killed anywhere on the map. Yeah.
So that was quite important for you then to have an amazing first half, Nexa.
Yeah, definitely, especially after first map where we couldn't even get a single round on T side, you know, it was super important that we started off strong, you know.
Next, it seemed like you guys came in today prepared for this series, starting with that veto, picking Vertigo. Do you have anything special planned for Mouse Sports in the final?
Yeah, we definitely prepared for them as well. We didn't know how this match was gonna go at the end, you know, but we had to prepare for both teams.
And after Nuke, actually, I just want to ask quickly, how did you recover? Because, hey, you knew you had Vertigo coming up, but you didn't know how G2 were going to play on it. So, although you were probably feeling confident, you had to reset, right?
Of course, after, I think we just came into the Nuke a little bit scared, you know. Everyone was playing, I don't know how to say it, I would just say without balls, you know. Yeah, everyone was playing. Yeah, apologies.
No,
it's perfectly described.
Yeah, and we were all just playing scared and passive, especially on our CT side. We were just letting them run their strats, their execute. The lurks they had were perfect because we did nothing to stop them, you know, and that's why it ended the way it did on Nuke. Just after the map, I just told the boys, let's just loosen up. This is our map pick. There's nothing to fear. You all know you're better aimers than them, and we just stepped it up.
Finally, Nexa, sorry to interrupt you because I know I need to let you go and practice, but you've got Mouse Sports coming up next. And last time you saw them, it was on Nuke, and it was an absolute thrashing on your side. You well and truly beat them down, but they did get back up again yesterday. So how do you think it's going to be this time around?
It will definitely be much harder this time around, especially since it's a best of 3, you know. In best of 1s, anything can happen. Just you win some pistols, and then you roll over the team completely, you know. But as you see, and as you saw yesterday, best of 3s are completely, like Mouse is a completely different beast when it comes to best of 3s, you know, and I'm expecting a really, really good game.
Well, we know it's going to be a fantastic matchup, so thank you so much, Nexa. Congratulations, and we'll see you very soon. So what do we think of Nexa's performance? I feel a bit mad, like, saying it just after we've spoken to him, but Blair, give me the goss.
Yeah, I mean, Nexa has been really, really good this tournament. I'm not just talking about his fragging capability, but the fact that we have all the 5 players stepping up, that is going to be a very important win condition, especially against the Mouse Sports, who have everyone out-fragging everyone, right? Even Karrigan stepping up, so it's going to be 10 fraggers in his server. It's not going to be one guy slacking behind. But keeping that aside, Nexa, I like what he's doing here. The map picks coming out from him, the mind games he's playing along with the, you know, trying to mind game his opponents with the vertical pick, for example. It's going to be, in my opinion, a clash of Karrigan and mini Karrigan. Kind of. Because Nexa did say, you know, he's trying to copy a little bit of Mouse Sports strats and all that. So I think it's going to be a very similar style of Counter-Strike we're going to be seeing. At the same time, it's going to be very explosive.
I definitely have to agree. And speaking a little bit more about Nexa, I do have to speak about his fragging abilities, because watching Nexa, it's such a pleasure to watch him holding the angles. You can see how intelligent he is. He got so many multi-kills on that Vertigo. There was one unfortunate round I can think of. There was 1 second left on the clock. He killed all the Ts coming in, but they still ended up losing the round because of Omnic. But these are the kind of impact rounds, impact frags that Nexa provides for his team, and it absolutely sets his team up for success.
Now, there were two teams in this race, and let's face it, at times it was an incredibly close one. So actually, it could just as easily have been G2 in that grand final against Mousesports. So I just want to give them a bit of kudos, because, for example, on Nuke with G2, they had a flawless CT side. They really worked that out. And that was really because of Lucky and Jack stepping it up there.
Yeah, and that's what, these are the two players I kind of pointed out, saying I hope to see them really step up as the way Amanek has. It was really just good to see how they fixed those holes they had in the CD side setup on Nuke, right? And it's great. Even Kenny S, god damn it, on Vertigo, he was getting, I don't know, like over 10 opening kills on the T side. That is insane. And unfortunately, it's his birthday today, and that's got to be kind of a downer. But you know what? All of that being said and done, I would love that team to go and buy Amanek a drink or buy him dinner or something. He has been the player to watch for me for this tournament so far, at the very least.
Amanek has been a fantastic discovery, but bon anniversaire to Kenny S. We saw some fantastic performances from you guys today, and good luck at DreamHack Masters Dallas, because we know you're going to be there and you're definitely going to be putting up a fight. Now, Potter, should we head to the drawing board?
Yeah, let's do it. So I've got on here, this is going to be back to Dust2. Now, to provide a little bit of context, I think I really appreciate Valiance's efforts in their aggression and constantly looking for fights. However, in this instance, we're going to show an eco round from G2's end. I fast-forwarded it a little bit, but take a look here at Nexa's position and his teammates' positions. These guys have to keep middle and be honest, so it's really up to Nexa to not really defend the A-bomb site, but at least provide information to his teammates so that they can get a head start on those rotations. Now you're going to see Shox and Lucky. The chances of them winning this round are slim to none. They're down to a Deagle, an AK, no armor, and one smoke. This should be, and the key part of this entire replay is Nexa has a Molotov. He has a Molotov and he's repositioned. Everything about this round is perfect so far. All Nexa has to do is spot long A and throw that Molotov into the site when he sees the terrorist crossing. But if we go back to the first-person view now, to the highlight reel production, and we're gonna see on Nexa's screen exactly what happens. He's gonna spot Cat, he's gonna spot that long A, but unfortunately he fluffs the molly, then he peeks through that molly. Now all he has to do is hold that catwalk, and we saw how close this match was. We saw how G2 brought the match back. Hopefully he doesn't make these small minor mistakes leading into the finals, and I think they'll have a better shot at closing out that series.
Well, they have an hour to learn from those mistakes, because we are going to have to take about a 30-minute break. And when we come back, of course, we'll be discussing the tournament so far, the journeys of our final teams, and then that's it. The best of 3 grand final. We'll be seeing who's going to be winning the DreamHack Open in Tours France. Don't miss it.